Oh, welcome back to Rage Trade Mondays. You know who I am. I'm joined by Sam Powell Pepper himself. How are you, Joshy?
I'm good. I'm good. Another rendition of Rage Trade Mondays, and probably the most fitting for me because I am really in my Rage Trade era right now. Bailey
Yeah, no.
Humphrey, see you later.
If this was an anime, mate, your hair just wouldn't be red. It'd be on fire. It'd be going straight to the roof. What'd you score?
Absolutely. I had an absolute shocker. I scored 2079, and a bit of a rank drop. I dropped 1,092 spots to 1.5k. So still not a bad rank, 1,557, but massive, massive drop. But yeah, the team overall isn't actually looking that bad. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like it's an okay score, but I mean, it could have been more. I left you on the bench and played Cleary over you, which was an absolute disaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what 70, almost 80 point swing. I scored 2,176 and ranked 8.9k. So we're getting there slowly, slowly.
nice one.
And I know just quietly before we get into the actual rage trades, DR, the beautiful human himself, was up mine and Spill's neck of the woods over the Easter weekend. And he dropped, if you haven't seen this, which was it on? There we go. The Supercoach sword play t-shirt or long sleeve, but they are immaculate. And the quality is so nice as well. Like it's not just your rip off t-shirt, all that kind of stuff. It's actually so nice and very warm and comfy as well. But yeah, you saw it earlier, mate. It didn't look the best with the top button done up, so we're leaving it as is. I just want to ask you if there was one player in your team that you could ditch right now and it wouldn't cost you a trade, who would it be and why?
It's probably between two Brisbane primos, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Zorko has now gone three sub hundreds in a row, and I think he's a real concern. Obviously going to hold him, and obviously I'm hoping he can get back to his first few games. But if it
Yep.
was to be anyone that like I just can't fit into my trade plans at the moment, it would be Locky Neale. Um,
Yep.
I am sick of him. Like I am genuinely sick of him. He's lost 89k, been a really bad starting pick. I've already copped two sub-affected games with 41s and 71s. And then, I mean, he's coming up at 113, so that's good and all. But this week he's got the Winhager tag, and we've seen already this year he's copped two tags and gone 71 and 41. So I'm really fearing that. His average overall is 96, and I would
Mm.
love to get him out of my team if I could.
No, I completely agree. And you're like, is there any possibility that Windhager goes to Dunkley? Like, is there any chance?
I don't think so. I think more of a chance would be Windhager going to McCluggage because McCluggage has genuinely been really good this season.
Mhm.
So hopefully maybe him. I mean, if I was a head coach, and this is honestly a non-biased Supercoach opinion, I would be tagging McCluggage over Neil. Like Neil, yeah, he's a dual Brownlow medalist, but now he's just that contested in and under guy. But McCluggage, I think, is the one that really hurts you because he kicks a lot more goals. He runs a lot faster and more than Neil does. I just think he's a lot more damaging. And even Zorko, I would tag over Neil these days, coming off the half-back flank. But I'll pose the same question to you. If you could get anyone out of your team without a trade, who would it be?
It'd be Locky Neale. In
Yeah,
in like on averages, I highly, highly doubt he's going to be a top eight mid. Yeah.
yeah,
And that's just from a statistical standpoint. That's not looking at, I guess, fixture coming up. Hope to God he doesn't get injured, but he's extremely durable. But it's just like tags just kill you. And you literally said, like, you justified it with that 40 odd and that 70 odd. That's disgusting. Like, it
yeah,
genuinely is. And yeah, I'm praying to God Windhager doesn't go to him, but it just seems like that's the common um, consensus here. And
yeah.
yeah, I really like. I know that Geelong Brisbane game was moved, and So they wouldn't have that early buy, and I literally put him in. That was the sole reason because of it, and he has just he's done nothing since.
Same here.
Yeah. We're going to get into the rage trades. This one has to be a rage trade. And I know that it's really early, like lockout lifted. I mean, props to whoever actually runs SuperCoach, like props to them and how they lift the lockout because it was super quick. But this bloke, I think I can speak for you when I say that, what are you doing? Like, honestly, would you trade Jack Sinclair?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Like a 70 isn't ideal, and obviously his break even of 180 isn't ideal either. But this is someone that's gone 95, 145, 162, 118, and 108 before that 70. I would not be trading him at all. And yeah, I can't believe that he's the number 5 trade out.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints will get slaughtered like they did against the Dogs. Like, just you look at all the Dogs scoring, and majority of them they just took that Supercoach pie and ran with it. No, I wouldn't be trading Jack Sinclair. Number 4 though is someone who I'm currently toying with trading at the moment, and that's Connor O'Sullivan. I know you were never an owner. But what would you do? Would you hold? Would you trade? What's the go there with Connor?
Well, I asked you just before we started what his break even was, and I think at 85, that's probably where you cash in and you move him on, especially with the Matt Carroll on the bubble and looking all right, 99K. You cash in Connor O'Sullivan and you've got a fair bit of money to work with and get a primo in or get someone up to Flynn and other options you can do. So I'd probably be moving him on with that break even. I think he's going to start losing cash now. And yeah, I think it's just whenever the break even is higher than the average, I think that's when you cash in.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Third on the list, this bloke, my God. Oh, my God, talk about lackluster. And these percentages will be, I guess, increased just due to the volume of trades so far. But number 3 on the list is Bailey Humphrey. He is 100% a trade for me. Like, that's been a disaster, absolute disaster.
Yeah, he is so gone. And I don't care if he averages 110 in the future. I'm never going near him ever again.
Yeah,
Ever again. I hate owning him. He finally had a good half. He had a
yeah,
40-point half against Richmond
yep.
and then didn't touch it for the third quarter and then had a touch and a tackle in the last quarter and scored 48. 8-point second half. It's the most frustrating own. He just runs around aimlessly. His
Mm-hmm.
role just got worse as each week went on. Yeah, he just didn't look like it. And even when he was in the CBAs and the stoppages, he didn't. I don't think I ever actually saw him get a clearance or a touch from a CBA or stoppage. I think that's why it started to decrease as the weeks went on. And yeah, to go 74 and 48 against North Melbourne and Richmond, I know they lost to Richmond. It's just so disappointing. It's why I picked him over a marriage. I went with the fixture over the role, and I'll never
Mm-hmm.
do that again. I'll always be picking a halfback from now on over a 4th to 5th tier midfielder. So yeah, he's so far gone, and yeah, my team just looks so much better with Christian Petracca at F6 rather than Bailey Humphrey.
Oh, I just loved, like, he'd line up in the forward line, opening bounce, go up. It's been 40 seconds of play, and he needs a rest. Like, I can understand rotations, sports science, all that kind of jazz, but if you're needing a rest, like literally a minute into the game, oh man, give it a rest. Come on, like what are you doing? Honestly,
Yeah.
it's actually a good feeling ditching him. Honestly,
Oh,
number 2 on the list. Now this is interesting because I'm fairly sure this bloke didn't actually play this round, Joshy, and that's Will Ashcroft. I know he played, he just didn't rock up. What's your thoughts on Will Ashcroft?
I think prime example this week with Matt Roberts, a lot of people trading him out. I think you got to try and trade around these guys,
Mhm.
upgrade elsewhere, and just keep getting these rookies off the field. I think it's a bit counterproductive trading guys like Will Ashcroft, despite whatever his break even now. Just having a quick look, it's up to 154. So going to lose some cash. But this is someone that in the prior weeks went 112, 130, 136, and 104. So I think you'd much rather upgrade around him, accept the mulligan, and then just upgrade around. Like you can move some of your rookies onto a Flynn, you can upgrade another spot, and slowly start getting these rookies off the field rather than trading Prince Charming.
There's no way in hell that he gets the Windhager tag, is there?
No, it's
No.
most definitely going to Neale, or a McCluggage or Zorko over Will Ashcroft, I reckon.
Yeah. So it's not like you don't actually need to trade him. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think he's completely fine to hold.
It's just the
Yeah,
monetary value. I mean, you see a 5 at the start of the price, and then you see that score. You're kind of inclined to like have a little bit of a flirt with it, see what it can do. And I'm
yeah.
sure like most people will be like me and literally reverse their trades 75,000 times before lockout.
Yeah, I think the only people that like are doing it are the ones that can't upgrade around him and get a Daicos in if they missed a
Mm.
Daicos. So I guess
Yep.
he is your one-way ticket to a Nick Daicos. But other than that, I just think, as I said, you're more better off to like grab a Petracca or grab a Tom Stewart. I know he didn't score very well, but one of these
Mhm.
guys that have dropped a little bit, and upgrade around him rather than sidewaysing, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Number one on the trade out list is a bloke that, I mean, it was fairly stiff that he was the sub. And that's Luke Trainer. It was said like management that due to the period of time in between games that he was going to be the sub, apparently from Uze. I mean, why even play him then? I don't understand it, but he's the senior coach. Scored a 2. Yeah, that's just, yeah, that's gross. Break even 74. What's your thoughts with Trainer? Because currently I'm not trading him out.
Yeah, so I think he'd be completely fine to hold. Like, I don't think he's going to lose that much cash. And to be honest, with 380s in a row before that sub-affected game, he can probably get that break even still.
Yep.
Um, I'm trading though because I do need someone to go to Matt Carroll and just fund my other moves. So it's going to be Trainer just purely because I've also got Pryor and Reed, and their break evens are 15 and 14. So you're probably going to be moving on a trainer with a 74 break even who, with that 2 in the cycle, is going to take a little bit longer to start getting his cash gen going again. But I think if you can hold him and if you want to hold him, there's nothing wrong with it. I think, yeah, as I said, he can probably even get that break even.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful, mate. Um, I mean, special shout out to number 9, which is another Brisbane primo, and that's Josh Dunkley. Just throwing a dart here, mate. Would you be, if you own Dunkley, would you be tempted to trade him out at all?
No, I wouldn't. And it's the exact same reason as Will Ashcroft. You got to try and upgrade around these guys. It's the exact same reason I'm holding Locky Neale, even though I know he's coming up at 110, but I am expecting a sub 100 tag affected score this round. But it's the same
Yeah,
reason I'm holding him. You just upgrade around them. And the aim of the game is to get these rookies off field at the end of the day.
yep.
So you're holding Josh Dunkley. Obviously, it's super frustrating. He's gone 2 sub hundreds in a row and has a big 157 break even. But you just know he's not the one that's going to be tagged. And I think that's a bit of peace of mind when owning a Dunkley. And I mean, 2 sub 100 scores, but both still in the 80s. So it's a pretty good floor. And I wouldn't be moving him on.
Well, quarter time, he was on 30 something from memory. So
Yeah.
he just like literally went out of the game.
Yeah,
Didn't do much
absolutely.
at all.
And I don't know if that was just coinciding with Collingwood starting to get a run in the Lions and like really starting to dominate them. But yeah, as I said, if your floor's 80, then that's completely fine. I mean, that's why I was holding Roberts. Like I thought a floor of 77 and 79 was pretty like it's not great, but you take that, I guess, on the off week. And that's the exact same with Dunkley. I think it's just yeah, it's a waste of a trade if you were to move him on.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to move to the top 5 most traded in players. In, have you looked at this at all?
No, I haven't even
No.
looked.
Okay, perfect. Have a stab in the dark at number 5.
I reckon it won't be Carroll or Flynn. I reckon they'll be a bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or I don't know, maybe like a Corey Durden.
No, it's actually someone who you've spoken about a fair bit putting into your flex in the coming weeks, and that's Tristan Jerry.
Ah, yes.
Would you be trading him in this week though?
I 100% would. If
Mhm.
honestly, if Flynn didn't pop off, I would have been getting Cherry this week.
Yep.
He's lost 88k, break even 102 now, so he's probably bottomed out. And at 557k for someone that can score the way he can, um, yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I think he is such a good person to get in. Like his run really opens up now. Like he's
Yep.
gotten past a few of the harder matchups, like your Grundys, like your Robs, like your Wits, and you're gone. Who by the way put 136 on. So
Yeah.
he's passed all the tough matchups now, and it starts to really open up. If, as I said, if Flynn didn't score big and take up that flex, Sherry would have been so far into my considerations. Not even funny.
Yeah. No, I completely valid. Completely valid. Number 4, someone who you literally just spoke about a couple of minutes ago, Matty Roberts.
Hmm.
Surely people didn't trade and now they're bringing back in. Surely.
Surely not. I mean, obviously he's reset his break even. Now it's 79. Um,
Hmm.
as I said before, that's his floor. Coming up against Gold Coast as well, and now Gold Coast are one of the more favourable matchups for general defenders slash designated kickers. So I think we could actually see a decent score from this round again.
Yep.
And he has a pretty good record against them as well, scoring 117 last year. So a 468k, I can see why people would maybe be bringing him in, especially with Stewart coming off a 60 and maybe turning a few off. But I still would probably look elsewhere. We're going to talk about him soon, but a certain Christian Petracca, I'm massive on getting in this week, despite not turning up yet and only 89 average. But yeah, I think I'd be looking elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Completely understand that. This next bloke, I think we are both pretty much locked into, um, and that's Matty Flynn. Did you watch this game?
I did, obviously, as an Essendon fan.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah,
shattering seeing Draper go down. But Flynn was
yep.
really, really good. And I don't think he's going to get dropped after that game. Bailey Williams this year in the games he's gotten has really not been good. I mean, his first game against Brisbane, he was cramping up to the point where they had to put Archer Reid in the ruck because he just couldn't play anymore. And then the following weeks, he wasn't that great either. I think Flynn, after that game, he buys himself at least 3 weeks in the team. And
Hmm.
I think with the way that the options are really drying up in terms of cash gen, and a lot of people are going to start getting dead rookies. I feel like someone like Flynn, who's got a minus 73 break even and goes up 65k with a 76, I think he's someone that you really need. And I mean, which is one of the hardest matchups, and he scored 87 against him, getting absolutely smacked. And he still managed 87. So I think he's someone that is going to score well while making you cash. And yeah, I really think anyone should be getting him in.
How do you think our dear friend Supercoach God is feeling, mate?
Oh, not good. I know he's not good.
Mm.
I saw a few messages from him on the weekend when Briggs went 27, but I can confirm that he's traded Briggs straight back to Flynn, and he's got big baby Daicos into his team as well via trainer. So he's making moves, God.
He
Obviously,
is.
obviously we all had to in the end swallow our pride and bring Flynn back in. Like I know we both started him
Oh,
as a flex. We didn't hold him as long as God, so it's not as painful. But I think 90% of the people that be bringing Flynn in started him. So yeah,
yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree. Number 2 on the list. Who do you reckon it is, mate?
is it my boy Trucker?
No, he actually doesn't feature.
Oh wow!
Yep.
To be honest, actually, maybe that's not a surprise. Like he hasn't gone 100 yet. Um, so maybe people are just looking elsewhere. But yeah, I think he's bottomed out 40 at 80k. with breaking even 95. But this isn't the Petracca show at the moment.
No,
I'm going to say Matt Carroll's the number one guy, so I actually have no idea who number two is.
no clue.
No, not really.
No,
Is it
we all
Daicos?
know.
Like,
Yes, it
oh,
is.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Did you watch Thursday night?
I did, and it was like it's shocking that I scored 2080 when I'm actually one of the people that brought in Daicos. Like, if I didn't have him, it could have been a lot worse.
What
He was
What did you
awesome.
think about his game?
I thought he was awesome, and like
Mhm.
he ran the legs off Jordan the week before and scored 134. And when I saw that, when I saw him against one of the best taggers in the game, be able to like burn him into the ground and score 134, I knew that Daicos was back. Um, and he just showed it against Brisbane. I know he wasn't on anyone in the first half, but then they
Mhm.
tried to roll Jared Berry on him, which was the weakest tag I've ever seen. He pushed
Yeah.
him off the ball about 60 times, and then
Mhm.
whenever Daicos had remotely a chance of getting the ball, he just got it anyway until he ended up kicking that goal as well, and then they took Berry off him. It was the weakest, most pathetic tag. And when he was just pushing off the ball, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you're not stopping him or anything. You're just being a flog, really." He was being a bit of a weirdo, but yeah, he was awesome. Really, really good. And anyone that doesn't have him, he's going to go 150 against us on Friday. I'm telling you right now.
Is it fair to say if you're not bringing Daicos in this week, you're probably waiting, say, a month in anticipation for a tag to get around this price again? Because his break even's 54.
Yeah, and I'm looking at now a 120, which, by the way, I think he'll go above that against us. A 120, he goes up to nearly above 640k. And I
Mhm.
don't think you should be bringing anyone in at 640k, no matter who it is. Maybe a Bont if he doesn't drop enough. But I just think like you need to be getting in these value guys if you want to finish a team, especially with all the dead rookies we're getting, especially with the cash gen guys drying up. Like, I'm looking at my team now and I'm looking at my bench. I brought in Al Hooley, which I shouldn't have. That's going to be a dead rookie soon, I reckon.
Mhm.
Marias could be dropped. Nevitt could be dropped. A lot of people have a Camper Rally who's not playing at the moment. A lot of people have a Boyd who's not playing. Cleary, after that performance, could be dropped. Kako probably holds, but he's a slow burn. These guys are really, really starting to drop off like flies. And I just think you need to bring in primos at a lower end of the scale. So if you miss a Daicos, and to be honest, he's already 600k as well. But if you miss a Daicos, I'd probably be waiting a little bit.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. I want to ask you is, well, I guess Essendon don't really have a tagger per se, but Durham does do like run with rolls, etc. And I think it's fair to say he's not small. Like he's a medium to big bodied midfielder. Does he just go straight to him?
No, I think if we are to tag him, and I think we definitely will, we're going to send Setterfield to him. Um,
Yep.
like Setterfield's going to Clary and he's going to Tim Kelly. And just looking up at Tim Kelly's height now, Kelly is on that smaller end as well at 183 centimeters. So I think Setterfield definitely can run with a Daicos. How much he impacts him, I don't think it will be much. Setterfield isn't the caliber of tagger that Jordan is, and Daicos may actually go 134 against Jordan. So yeah, I do think we'll tag him. I do think it'll be Setterfield, maybe a Durham. But I don't think the impact of it's going to be anything too drastic.
Is Setterfield like fit enough to do that job? And
I
that's
think
not
so.
any that's not any dig at Setterfield because like he did, as you just said, he
Yeah,
did a fantastic job at Clary. But like, does he have the tank to go with him?
I think he does. Like he's 192 centimeters. Like he's a bit on the taller scale, but I feel like his running is not too bad. That's going off just like vibe, to be honest. Like I have
Yep.
no stats to back that or anything. But I do think he would be the one that goes to Daicos. I don't think it'll be Durham. And as I said, I really don't think it's going to be too much of an impact. I
Yeah.
think Daicos will be still be fine.
Yeah. No. Understood. Understood. Is there a way that you can? is it on the AFL app? Can you check like distance covered? Is that possible?
I think so. I think you definitely can on the Telstra tracker.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Yep.
but yeah, I just think I think the logical tag, we've done it the last 2 weeks. I think it'll be centre field.
Who's going to tag Ned Long? I tried to
Please.
say that with a straight face, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Right. That's literally all of them except for the number one. Matty Carroll. Is he honestly just like, I know we spoke pre-stream and I'm of the view that because they've won and because they won convincingly, he's not going to get dropped. But like there is a possibility that in 1 week's time he's dead. Like just a dead rookie. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is. And our good friend SuperCoach Edge Damo, I did
Mhm.
ask him about Matt Carroll, and he thinks that at the moment there's not really anyone to come in his spot. And he thinks that he could get a prolonged run at it. These 60 scoring, it's actually what I kind of predicted from him. I didn't think he'd be a good scorer, so to speak. I thought he'd be a bit of a slow burn, just purely off his VFL numbers. But I think with Carlton, I know they played North and West Coast, but I think with them going back-to-back wins after starting the season winless, I think maybe they're just going to run with the team that they've got now, unless there's suspensions or injuries. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, like all these rookies that we've been bringing in, there's a chance that he could end up sub or he could end up dropped. But I
Yep.
think for the time being, at 99K with 260s in his cycle, I think you got to bring him in if he holds his spot this week.
I don't know like the time slots that Carlton play in, and I'm not too sure if you do as well. If say in 2 weeks' time he is dropped and he's just a 140k dead rookie, are they any good for looping?
So looking at next week, if he was dropped, he plays a Saturday. So you've got on the Thursday night, you've got a Zach Reed and a Jackson Pryor. So you could
Mm-hmm.
probably use them that week as well. You
Yep.
go to round 9, plays the second game. So you can't use them that week. Only Freo and Collingwood play before him. So that's
Yeah.
obviously not ideal. The week after, the second game again, only Gold
Yeah.
Coast and Hawthorn play before him. And then the week after that, um, he plays after both Zach Reed, Pryor, and Luke Trainer, and O'Connor O'Sullivan. So
Yeah.
really can only loop him 2 of the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. So not fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the top five most traded out and top five most traded in. What are your trades, mate? Before we get to some questions, I know you are. Oh my god, the amount of text that I received from you, Petracca this, Petracca that. Actually, can I want to give an explanation as to why you're trading in Petracca, and I want you to tell me if I'm, bang on.
Go on.
He's the lowest break even he's had in a while, lowest price he's been at for a while. He averages, was it 92 over when having 60% CBAs? And prior to Stewart literally poo pooing the bed today, it was out of Stewart and Petracca, and you can't really get anyone else in the midfield. And you obviously think he's going to be a top 8 forward. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a top 8 forward. He's got
Mm-hmm.
West Coast. He's got Richmond and West Coast the next two, so that's obviously very favourable for an inside mid.
Yep.
He's the cheapest he's been since 2020.
Yep.
I mean, he hasn't gone under 100 average since 2020. He went 103 last year, but you take
Mhm.
out his injury affected game, and that was a 106. So
Yep.
it's just someone that's just a consistent scorer. Obviously started a little bit slow this season, but um, I mean, you look at his season so far, he's played 6 games. 3 of them he's had 60% or more CBAs, and that's for an average of 96. Um,
Yep.
so that was a 98 in round 1, 96 round 5, and 94 in round 6. His last 3 scores have been 92, 96, and 94. So they're not tons, but they're pretty good for a forward and pretty good for a forward that's 480k with
Mhm.
we know what his ceiling is. And what I've liked is he had that big 80% CBAs in round 1, but then he dropped off to 48, 52, and 50. What I've liked the last 2 weeks is it's gone up each week to 65 and 82. Um, And, going 82% CBAs in a win against Freo, I don't think they're gonna change that. I think he's now gonna be in there a lot more like the last 2 weeks, where he's gone 96 and 94. And to be honest, in both those games as well, he missed a couple of sitters and, 1 or 2 goals extra. They're both 105, 110 plus scores. So I think Petrarca is just primed for the picking at 480K with 2 very favourable matchups to come up, and he just looks more comfortable each week as well. Like, he looks better to the eye. I know he's not scoring 100 plus scores, but the last few weeks he has actually looked better. He's looked more like Christian Petrarca of old.
How good is he going to look in a Pies jumper next year, mate?
Oh God! I already saw you talk about last night Bontempelli that going to Collingwood.
When I read that article, I thought, Jesus, like, how can people get away? There is no chance in hell Bontempelli is playing for the Pies next year. But how can that get published in like an esteemed, I guess, source of news? Like, it was just
it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Who wrote it?
It was by the West.
Yeah, right.
Like, it was in the West in WA. I cannot for the life of me remember the journalist. I can't.
Who knows what the West knows when they're bloody WA based and they're talking about a captain of a Victorian club. But anyways.
Yeah, interesting. I think we have 2 out of 3 trade-ins. We're obviously boosting. I'm bringing back Matty Flynn. My God, that's enough to give you PTSD. And Matty Carroll. Now, I'm just gonna spin your story here. I'm gonna bring in a midfielder. I think at this point in time, obviously this could change. I could bring in Petracca, but I mean, to be fair, like, your alter ego, Sammy Powell-Pepper's doing all right, and Sammy Davidson's doing all right. So I don't think. No,
in your situation though, like, you're someone that doesn't have Rankin, and there's 15K separating them. So if you don't have a Rankin, I'd still be going him over Petrarca. The only thing is I've got Rankin already. So if you were to go forward, 100% Rankin over Petrarca with what we've seen so far. But you did speak to me about getting a midfielder, and I think that's the way you should go with the cash you've got.
Well, the way I see it, if I get a forward in, I have to play a Lindsay on field. Or if I get a midfielder in, I've got to play Davidson at F6. And I think I'm more than happy to play Davidson at F6 and then have King Ned Long at M8. I'm just going to read you out some scores. And I know at the start of the year, it's not the greatest, but a 90, 81, that's understandable. 149, 89, 104, 134. And I know you know who it is, but I want to read something else out to you. And this is huge shout out to SuperCoach Scout. Did this fantastic job. I saw this earlier. I think it's a wonderful piece of work. So if you don't follow SuperCoach Scout, literally on all the Facebook groups for SuperCoach and on Twitter, give him a shout out, follow him. There's a certain player that is out for basically almost the entire year. He's basically 4 months he's out for. The next 3 games for this I guess player plays against, actually, we'll go with the next 5 matchups, ranking the bottom 6 team for conceding SuperCoach points to inside mids. So clearly this player that I'm bringing in is an inside mid. This includes all 3 of the easiest, 18th, 17th, and 16th ranked teams. The player that I'm bringing in, without the certain player that's injured, averaged 107. That's okay. That's all right. But all of it is not in wins. When you look into it closely, you see that the first 5 games without the certain player, they were all losses. So half of it was all losses. In the next games, the next 5, they won 4 out of 5, and he averaged 142. And that's Jai Newcombe. Now, that just says to me, when Will Day, who is clearly injured, is out, Jai Newcombe is literally going, as his name says, nuclear. And with the next three, like we literally just held, I know they're completely different players, but we literally just held Bailey Humphrey and watched him average, off the top of my head, minimum 60 against North and whoever it was, North and Richmond or whatever, because they were an easy matchup. And now you've got Jai Newcombe, who, like, the Hawks should win a fair majority of the games coming up. Like, I know they lost today, but, you know, what was Sicily doing in that last quarter, that kick? But fair enough. Jai Newcombe at 550K. I think I prefer a Newcombe with those kind of stats and banking on that that's going to happen again. He's not going to get tagged. I mean, they've got the run coming up. West Coast at Marvel. I mean, what's going to happen there? He's not going to get tagged. Richmond, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Collingwood, who he will slaughter us. Bulldogs, Adelaide, North, Saints. Like, do they even go to him? I reckon this is a fantastic shout. And again, shout out to Supercoach Scout, because insane when you actually look into it, and he did all the hard work. And I reckon that's a fantastic pick. So that's where I'm at the moment. Do you have any objections to that at all?
No, I actually think Newcomb's a really good pick. At 550K, I can't afford him. The
Yep.
most I could probably spend on a player I bring in is 503K at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Newcomb's a really good pick. That run is really, really good as well. As you're speaking, I was having a look at it, and there's really not any tags coming up at all.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're probably right. Hawthorn are going to win more games than not.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really don't have a rebuttal against that. I think they're really good. He's a really good in.
Like, I can't, for looking at average, obviously Butters and Bont is, it's a little miscue because they've played, well, Butters has played 3, Bont's played 1. I was thinking of Matty Rao, but then you got the James Jordan tag. I'm not with it. I mean, I still think Merritt is a fantastic shout this week, even though I've got him. I wouldn't touch Tom Green with a 10-foot pole. And then, like, Jai Newcombe, when you actually look into it, seems like a decent pick. Like, it's still, honestly, still could be. I'm not sold on Libba, even though he's been great. Took Miller as a no thank you. Obviously, can't afford a Brayshaw, can't afford a Hewitt, can't afford literally anyone else. And I think for the first, like, I'm very happy with Newcombe at this stage, but I'm sure that'll change tomorrow. Enough about
Mm.
that. We're going to get to some questions, mate. Eli says, is Tunstall a trade in? I'm going to say no, because he's played 1 game.
Yeah, you got to wait one more game. I know we've got a pretty big Brisbane fan in one of our chats,
Yep.
and I asked him, "Do you reckon Tunstall holds?" And he couldn't really, with any confidence, confirm it. So yeah, you definitely want to have that one more free look. And as I said, these downgrade options are really drying up. So, I mean, if you get a Carroll this week and then next week you've got a Tunstall, I think that's going to help us a lot with downgrading.
When's Kyle Oman back?
I'm not actually too sure, to be honest. I know he was obviously injured in that first game, came back, got injured again.
Mm,
I'm not too sure when he comes back again. I think it's pretty short term. Obviously, that's really going to affect someone like a Tunstall who only came in from McLaughlin, and a Brucey Revel was out as well. So I
yeah.
think he's a massive sub risk. I also think he's a massive drop risk. So definitely have to wait one more week.
Yeah, absolutely. You traded this fella out, but if you held him, is he still a hold? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's still a hold. I mean, what's his recent break even to now? It's now down to 37, so definitely can still hold him. Um, I don't think he'll be expecting 80 pluses every week again. Like that's his second 80 plus score. And to be honest, outside of that, it's been 39, 72, 54, 61. So he is
Yeah.
prone to a pretty low score. And St Kilda, I could see that score coming because they're a very favourable wing matchup, as were Carlton, who he went big against. But with that break even, I'm sure you've got so many more rookies that need to go out over him, like a trainer, like a Connor O'Sullivan, and all these other players. So definitely hold him.
Yeah. Geez, Eli's got in nice and early tonight. Good on you, mate. Zach Reed, hold or trade. That's a hold.
Absolutely. A break even of 14. And before last week, he went 88 and that 104. So I'd definitely be holding Zach Reed.
Yep. And just to you, Eli, I won't read out the next two questions because we've obviously said Zach Reed's a hold and you're including him in trade outs. Shout out to Gerbs, absolute legend. G'day, gents. Am I Bo Allen here for fading Daicos for Joshy Sugar Bray last week? No, because Brayshaw's fantastic. Like I know there's different 50 points, but no.
Yeah, Brayshaw's still won 120. I mean, like, Brayshaw's been so consistent as well. And the best thing is, you know that if they're going to tag, it's going to Sarong. He hasn't gone under 100 all year. His last 4 scores have been 120 plus. Nothing wrong with a bit of Sugar Bray.
Absolutely. Dodgy Malacca, top 10% for the round and avoided the chaos for the most part. Nick Martin VC turned out looking not too bad. Interesting. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Good on you, mate.
And Nick Martin's one that if I had the extra cash, I would probably get him over Petracca. But 532K, it's just a little bit out of my reach.
Yep, wonderful. Jerb says he's thinking trainer Humphrey for Daicos and Carroll this week. He's going to blow all his bank cash, 3 boosts left, so he could colour rookie if need be. But it looks like we're short on bubble rooks. Yeah, do it. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And at least you'll enjoy Anzac Day as well.
True. Yeah, he will go big against us. Like, there's no doubting that. Yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yep. This bloke getting a lot of traction on the old X. Comments on everything. Loving our interactions.
I love him.
Scobalicious and Easter Sunday beers. JG. Absolutely, mate. Gerbs wants to know if the awesome merch, as you can see, do they come in gerbil sizes? No idea. No clue. No clue at all. Top 3 midfield targets to finish off your midfields. Whoa. Joshy.
Bont and Butters. Butters, Daicos.
Is they the ones that we don't own? You own Daicos.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I own him. But if we're going people I don't own, then Bont, Butters, Zach Merritt. Probably off the top of my head, that's the 3 I can name. But, yeah, Bont and Butters, as soon as you can get them in. The question I'll ask you is he just keeps doing it. Does George Hewitt keep this on? I mean, it's a 128 average now from 6 games. He's just gone 170. The only sub-100 score he's done all year was a 94 against Richmond. And other than that, it's been 120 plus every single score. Does he keep going? Is he someone we need?
He's going to be priced more than Bont soon. Like, George Hewitt is genuinely going to be the highest priced midfielder in the game.
And I think it's just the name that's turning people off.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Like, I'm huge on points per minute, and this just stacks up. He's never going to cop a tag either. Like, never.
No. It goes to Walsh and Cripps before him. And honestly, it could probably even go to Chera before him.
Yeah. Oh, mate, geez. Shout out to all those that have Chera, by the way. George Hewitt and Chera will never, they won't get a tag, and they seem to be consistent, in that midfield rotation without having any threat of not being in there. Because there's 4 of them. You got Walsh, Cripps, Chera, Hewitt. I wouldn't be against anyone trading in George Hewitt at all. I would not. But the 3 that I want to finish off is Brayshaw, Butters, Bont. And to be fair, I'll probably only ever get 2 of them. And I reckon that's Bont and Butters. That's just, Alec wants to know, are you going to prioritise getting in Flynn or Rosie?
I'll be prioritising Flynn, just at 261K. I'll keep speaking about it all night, but these cash gen options that we can downgrade to are really going to dry up. And we already saw another sub 100. I know it was a score in the 90s from Rosie. in that half-back role. So
Yeah,
I
no,
would be prioritising Flynn at that price tag.
absolutely agree. Like, and Rosie's not in consideration for me at all. I don't really like Cheese says that he shed 3 total tears of happiness when he traded JG's homeboy in Humpty
Oh,
Dumpty. Yeah.
yeah, it was the best moment of my Supercoach career trading out him. Like I am so happy he's gone. I'm so happy. And watch him go
Oh, no.
100 this week. Watch him go 100 this week and just make me even angrier. But he was the most painful, frustrating own I have had in a long time.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And I mean, I sent you a message that you probably almost crashed your car whilst reading. Don't text and drive, call and drive, whatever, super coach and drive. But we both started James Harms. Was it last year?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, and he's on par with that. And that was disgusting.
yeah.
Disgusting.
Honestly,
Oh, it's horrible. JCR says, G'day, legends. Love the content. Very cathartic for my rage. Mate, mate, we'd get cancelled if sometimes we said what we really wanted to, especially about Bailey Humphrey. No, I'm sure he's a lovely bloke and he's, genuine human and he's trying his best. He's trying his best. But if you want to know my real thoughts, get into my DMs on X and it is uncensored, mate. Shane Barker says, Hero of the Week, Fagan for letting Nicky D run around on his own. I don't know if you watched it intensively, and that means at the breaks and stuff. But I can't remember who was interviewing Fagan at halftime, and they asked him what's the plan? What's happened with the plan for Daicos? And Fagan just said straight back, "Oh, it clearly hasn't worked." Really?
I want to know what the plan was before they
Oh,
actually sent Barry to him, because in the week they said we've planned a few things to nullify him. I don't see any of it, and I don't know if it was just Daicos' work rate or he's just too damn good. But he was breaking lines, he was bursting
mm.
out of clearance, getting clearances. Yeah, I don't know what the plan was, but he was awesome. And even when they put Barry on him, as I said before, he was just pointlessly just pushing him off the ball. And when it came to actually stopping him get the ball, he couldn't do anything.
I think it was just more to be conscious about him and put body into him at stoppages.
Yeah.
Multiple times I saw McCluggage on him, then there was Dunkley, and then there was Neale. It just seemed to be a shared understanding that when he was around, just body, man up, simple. Kind of what Pendles does at stoppages. But yeah, it didn't work and Barry didn't do much. Jakey Sharp says, sup, boys? Shout out to you, mate. Love your work on X. Always good for a chat. Ryan Wolf says, I'm trading Bailey Humphrey, trainer, and Conor O'Sullivan to Tom Stewart, Matt Flynn, and Matty Carroll. Thoughts?
I love it. I
Yeah, I'd
know
probably.
Stewart didn't score well, but I still do like it.
Yeah, no, I'd probably tick that off, mate. And especially if Stewart's going to be D5,
Yeah,
if
I
that's
think.
how it works.
Yeah, I know he's coming off 60, but I think at 441K, a break even was 79. At the end of the day, this is someone that in his 2 full games before it scored 100 and 118, with the 118 coming off a week break of a knee injury. So I think he's going to be fine. Today just wasn't his game.
Yeah, no, I get that. Dodgy Malacca, thoughts on Neale to Butters on Daicos? Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't. No. Arrow says, I'm with you boys there. Neale is a hard watch to them. Oh my God, of course. Especially when he starts so well in the first quarter. And then
Yeah.
it's just oh, it's so annoying. Shane Barker says the villain is Uze for trolling the entire Supercoach verse. I don't know what the point was waiting so long to put him on, or if he needed a rest, just drop him, manage him. Who cares? Give the kid a break.
Mm.
Why does he have to go to the game? Come on, what? Why? I don't understand that. Eli says, who is the main midfield tester right now? I'm debating between Daicos, Hewitt, Rosie, Butters. I'm not sure what you mean by tester, but I'm sure we can rank those in order of priority. And I dare say that's just Daicos, Butters, Hewitt, Rosé. Is that fair, Joshy?
Yeah, I'd do that exact same order.
Yeah, no, understandable. Um, the Greek Raven says, "Hey lads, 2192 with Zorko, Dale, Dunkley, and Reed on field. So mixed feelings, but I can see Rage Trade is on the cards. Absolutely. Absolutely. Surf Coast says TDK down to Flynn, Daicos in with Hewitt already in. Ooh. Do you condone TDK out already?
I do not. Absolutely not. I mean, what his lowest score this year was on the weekend, a flat 100. I'm taking that as a low score any day of the week, especially with some of the scores that my primos this week produced in Zorko 70, Sinclair 70. I think a TDK 100 as your worst score is completely fine. Obviously, a lot of people are worried about Pitternet. I would still give him 1 or 2 weeks with Pitternet just to have a look at it. And honestly, I don't think Pitternet comes straight in. If you actually look at the VFL stats on the weekend, I'm not sure if Pitternet was limited minutes or not, but he lost the hit out battle to Bryn Teakle. He had 17 touches, but 15 handballs, and he only had 1 tackle. So I don't know if Pitternet warrants coming straight in, especially with Carlton going back-to-back wins, and especially with Harry Mackay most likely coming back from that concussion.
That's enough Carlton talk. We're going to move on. Teo Manos says Bont, Flynn, Carroll in, out more trainer Connor O'Sullivan. I'd be curious to know if this is a Dylan Moore trader innerer from last week. If it's not, then my God, that is a fantastic use of a boost. He also says that he loves the content. We thank you, mate. We enjoy doing it. This one's for you, Josh. You're gonna have to defend yourself here. Jonas Goat says, "Hey JJ, DR said you were too wasted to come on the show last night. Deny or confirm?"
Oh, it's completely valid. I mean, DR asked who, like he asked obviously in the chat yesterday, who's going to come on to talk back. I said it would depend on how I go today, and then it got later on, and I was not fit to be on a podcast. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, right. Love that. Surf Coast Bond at nearly 700k is tragic. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you've got rookies that are making cash, go for it, but I definitely don't. Rookie coach, shout out to him. Absolute superstar. Please just go and check his channel out. Like, just a genuinely good human, does a mountain of work, and he's insanely good with graphics. So just go and check him out. Go and check him out. Luke Pappas wants to know, would you hold Humphrey if it avoided using your last boost? Oh, that's what I'm thinking of doing. What would you do in this? Because, oh my God, it felt good ditching Humphrey.
There is no way you can hold him. Like, genuinely. If you're scoring 74 and 48 against North Melbourne and Richmond, I just have no faith in what you can do against other sides. And he's breaking even 78. Not the end of the world, but I'd be trading him as fast as possible. Using your last boost though, that is a bit hard. But I think I'm just speaking emotionally here. I know you have Humphrey as well, but you didn't cop as bad score as me. If it was to use your last boost, would you do it?
Well, a little bit of context with this. He also says that Trainer and Cos seem the priorities to get rid of before Humphrey. I'd just trade Cos and Humphrey.
I'd be keeping Trainer. They've got the exact same break evens. I think Trainer has shown he can score a bit more consistently than Humphrey as well.
Yep. Bit of support for you, mate. Cook them, JG. This bloke really likes you. That's fantastic. Greggy Wilson says that he grabbed Saligo thinking he was going to break out. Instead, he appears to have broken down. Trade or hope for a form reversal. What would you do here, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to stick fat with what I said about Will Ashcroft, what I said about Dunkley. Trade around these guys. You want to get these rookies off the field. So as bad as Saligo has been the last 2 weeks, and honestly, it does suck for the people that brought him in. 152 break even isn't ideal. And I think the role has looked a little bit worse as well. I think he's spent a little bit more time in the wing of late. But I just think you got to upgrade around it. and yeah, just hold him as long as possible.
Yeah. Jonas Goat says Sardis M8 for the year. Yeah, in VFL Fantasy Land Supercoach. Wait, did you see him in the twos?
Yeah, had a good game and actually got tackles for once. I think he had 5 tackles, but
He went
again,
at like
Setterfield was
54 by
awesome.
foot, didn't he?
I didn't see the efficiency stats,
Yeah, I think it
but
was
I
the stat.
genuinely think he could come in this week for El Hooley, but as sub. I think El Hooley, he had 30% time of ground in the end for one handball, um,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
really isn't ideal at all. So I think Sardis could come in. I think Gresham is also someone that could come out as well. He was pretty poor before he got subbed off. So
Mhm.
there is players that Sardis could come in for, but again, at the end of the day, I think Scott likes that El Hooley can play back midfield and forward. Whereas
Yep.
for some reason he's just pigeonholed Sardis as an inside midfielder. So that might be the kicker for Sardis.
Yeah, lovely. There's a lot of comments regarding Saligo. That's intriguing. I guess it's fair to say you just hold Saligo if you've got him.
Yeah, upgrade around it. 63 and 71 is not ideal, but he showed in his first 4 games he can get 100 comfortably. So I'd be holding it for now.
Yep. Yep. I don't really like cheese. I saw this earlier. This is a very good comment. I love how JJ always has the mysterious romantic lighting on the streams. Yeah. Interesting there, Joshua.
I
Um,
don't like I don't like just the LED light, like the normal just light that you've got on.
yeah.
It's too bad for my pale white skin. So I just put on the blue LED lights up there
Oh,
and just
Jesus.
sit under it and have my little one-on-one date with Scobes, and you can all watch it.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, we were meant to be finished by now, but I don't think we're a quarter of the way through the comments. We always go over time. That's a KPI that we really need to address. Chris Clement says, are we trading Will Ashcroft up to Daicos? Yes or no, Josh?
If that's your only avenue, I know I've been saying upgrade around it, but if that's your only avenue to Daicos, that's the one situation I would do it. But if
Mm-hmm.
you are able to upgrade around it, I'd do that as well.
Agreed. Oh, excuse me. Daniel Green says, hey lads, hope you're well. My trades this week, I started O'Sullivan, so I'll trade him down to Carroll and then trading Trainer to Martin, but swinging him forward to complete my forward line. Do you have any issues with that, Josh?
Nothing at all.
Wonderful. Chris says, Trainer to Carroll. I'd tick off on that.
Yeah, so would I.
Wonderful. Max says, thoughts on Newcombe? I just went on a spiel about Newcombe. I don't need to answer that. Dylan Moore a pick? No. Not yet. You need to say something.
Absolutely not. I mean, I think he just scored 40, didn't he? I'll have a
I
quick look
genuinely
now.
don't know. I didn't watch today.
It may not have been that bad, but he's got a break even of 120 and a score of 36 today.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be going anywhere near that. I mean, he does have West Coast, Richmond, Melbourne next 3, so the run is very good, and the mid minutes are probably there. But a score of 36, I don't think you can bring anyone in after that.
No, absolutely not. Balupa says trainer / Reed. I think that's got to be trainer. Plus Nevitt, plus Sardis to Daicos, Carroll, Tunstall early, or Marriage Sweat. Nah, do the first one, mate. Do the first one. I think you would say the same, Joshy.
Yeah, I'd say the same, and I think that you definitely trade Trainer over Reed just purely because of that Reed 15 break even to 70 odd for Trainer.
Perfect. X Qua HD. What on earth? I don't understand that at all. Thoughts on Amon as a pod next week? Apart from last week, I think he's turned to every game for 500k. I think there's nothing against it, but I think as we've preached and preached and preached on all our streams, there is a plethora of defender options. And do you realistically think Amon is going to be top 8? If you do, go for it. If you don't, then you probably don't trade him in. Is that a fair summary, Joshy?
I think it is fair, but at the same time as well, you just preached about the fixture for Newcombe, and obviously Amon has that same fixture. So I guess that's something to consider. But I mean, yeah, I would be a man of my word, and so weren't you if we didn't keep preaching how many guys can be top 8 in that back line, because we've said it pretty much every week. And I mean, the options that can be top 8, I think just doubles every single week as well. Some of the people still averaging massive numbers, I don't think you expect it at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's Kaz. Fellas, is Clay Hall going to get a game for West Coast? Tempted to swap him for Hewitt. Josh, is he going to get a game soon?
I don't know. His waffle numbers weren't that bad. I think he had like 26 touches. Don't know how many tackles. So he was decent in the waffle. Was definitely better than Tim Kelly, and Tim Kelly got straight back in. But I just think West Coast, I don't think they're going to change too much. And especially with Tom Gross as a starting sub, I think he would come into that starting 22 over a Clay Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd probably be trying Clay Hall. But then again, I mean, you just wait for teams, and if he's in, you keep him.
Wonderful. My God, we've been going for an hour and we still have so many comments to go.
Let's do
All right, we're
5
going to
minutes
get.
of quick fire. Just do like quick fire, I reckon.
All right, I just want yes or no from you, okay?
Yeah.
Trainer to Carroll, Ashcroft to Daicos, Moraes to Flynn.
Yes.
Trainer and Kako to Flynn and Carroll.
I would do that, yeah.
Flynn and Foss to what? Oh, trainer to Flynn and Foss to Carroll.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And this is a personal attack on you. Why the hell do people want no ton track 6-game averaging 89 at 481k? There are plenty of real primos for not much more. I started him. Terrible pick. We had a good summary before. I'm sure they can rewind and go and see it. But Joshy, you're in on him, yes?
I'm so in on him. And just like I said, he had 82% CBAs on the weekend, and they won. He scored 94. It could have been 100. Same with the week before when he scored 96 from 65%. Like, I think he's only going to get better, and I think to the eye, he's looked better each week as well. So, I mean, I think Jonas is probably speaking from emotion here because he started him, and geez, that's a terrible pick to start, obviously, of how much coin he's lost. But a 480k for Christian Petracca up forward with West Coast and Richmond in these next two, I think he's a pretty good pick.
Wonderful. There's a little chat about looping. That's wonderful there. Yeah, if anyone needs any explanation, literally just ask in the chat. I'm sure heaps of people are there to help out. Brad wants to know thoughts on TDK down to Flynn and then Washcroft. I like that. And Chera up to Bottom Butters. No.
Chera's averaging 107. He hasn't gone under 90 all year. TDK hasn't gone under 100 all year. Keep both of them. Get Flynn in, though. I really, really do think everyone needs to get Flynn in. But, yeah, I just wouldn't be trading out those players to do it.
Yeah, wonderful. Fozzie Wolf, Trainer, Humphrey and Marley Reid to Carroll, Flynn and Daicos.
Did you say Marley Reid?
Oh, Marley. Murphy.
That is a mulligan and a half.
Yeah, that's another rookie I missed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've missed a few, man. Murphy Reid. I missed Connor O'Sullivan. Elijah Hewitt looks like he's going to be one that's really going to pop off now. And with that
if
DPP,
you held on to Elijah Hewitt, props to you. Like you deserve.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, is Murphy Reid ready to go now? Probably. Trainer and Humphrey, definitely. Those three ins cannot fault it.
Yeah, awesome. I don't really like cheese. Giant Newcombe. Yep. Oh, well, he saved his week. Dio Flaxy picked up Newcombe last week and scored 134. Yep, wonderful. Sports clips. What's the story with Trainer? Any chance of a hold? Yes, hold. Apparently, it was only sub because of the management and the short timing between games, which, yeah, I don't even know why you'd play him. It seems silly to me. Thinking dropping Bale and TDK to Flynn and Butters. That's just sideways.
Why is so many people getting rid of TDK?
No.
Like I understand trying to get Flynn, but you've got Flex there to support you in doing that. I don't think you need to be trading out one of your R1s or R2s to be able to do it. Unless this is people that have the 3-headed ruck set up and have to either choose between Gorn, Sherry, and TDK. Maybe that's where I can see this happening. But if you got TDK or R2, just get Flynn in the flex.
Agreed. Joshy, this one's for you. Is Peter Wright a top 8 forward?
No, he definitely isn't. He was awesome against West Coast, kicking 6 goals, and I think always a benefit with Peter Wright is he gets those second ruck minutes as well. But Wright is one of these guys that has kicked 50 goals in a year for Essendon and won the BNF, and he only averaged 78. So even at the top of his game, he's not a Supercoach option. Big score on the weekend, but no, not a top 8 forward.
He will slaughter us Anzac Day. I can tell you that right now. Taken says, only way to get Daicos and Flynn is Roberts or Dale. What's the move? None.
Yeah, I wouldn't do either.
No. We've covered this, but it's a yes to Dalek, waiting on Daicos to come down. Josh McInnes says, Newcombe potential report this week. Right? What happened there? No idea.
I've got no idea. By the way, while we're on reports, just watch Baslenka get 1 week for the Sharon to the face of Impey. Because I know he shouldn't get a week, but I just know how they roll.
But didn't someone I can't remember, some journalist tweet precedents on this day, someone put a Sharon into Joel Selwood's head and only got a grand fine?
Yeah, but how long ago was that? They've really cracked down now. So you never know.
Yeah. Shout out to the Snowflake Society. We love everyone here. We're all inclusive. Balupa says, how would you feel about not getting Daicos and instead Real, Green, Newcombe, Rosie? Newcombe, Real, Green, Rosie in that order.
Yeah. I mean, Real's averaging 120. He's averaging more than Daicos. Obviously, those points are gone, and obviously Real's really good runs gone. But all 4 of those guys, I think, can get close enough to Daicos where you could probably still fade Daicos.
Yep. No, understood. Trainer and Davidson to Daicos and Carroll. Jeez, I'm tempted on that. Not gonna lie.
I'm doing that.
Yep. He says sorry. He was thinking of Nash. Thank you, mate. Is it worth downgrading Nank to Flynn to then go Jerry next week with trades this week opening up 200k in the bank? I can also bring in anyone at flex, literally, and then bring Bont in. I'd do Nank to Flynn and bring Bont in.
Yeah. I mean, Nank is coming off a 96, and that was looking really bad as well. I'm pretty sure he was on 40-something in the third quarter. But, I mean, Nank this last 4 games has gone 123, 87, 125, and 96. So I definitely don't think he's a trade out that you need to be doing. But, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a very tough one.
I'd do that, honestly. Joshy, you can answer this. Is prior a hold?
Yeah, definitely. He's got a break even of 14, I think it is, with 92 in the price cycle again. And I think he's had a low score of 50 this year. So he's been 50 plus all season. And now he's showed that he's also got a bit of a ceiling too.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these comments, mate. These are wow. Shout out to everyone that's on at the moment.
Yeah.
Is Daicos worth getting rid of a bias early, or does Cheese just miss?
Oh, I think you're going to miss him. Bison's break even's still only 33 and a low score of 79 in the last 4 weeks. I spoke about before when I was talking about Roberts, how Gold Coast are a favourable matchup for general defenders, and, Bice has them this week. So after 96, 124, 89, 79, I think you just got to hold him and upgrade around that.
Yep. I mean, I kind of agree. Are we going to the Anzac Day game together? No, we are not. Unfortunately, no.
Are you going though?
No, I'm not. No,
Oh.
I wish I definitely was, clearly, but nah. But you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going.
Yep.
And very keen as well. I think we'll get smashed, but it's my favourite game of the year every year.
It's always fantastic. Always fantastic. Tio wants to know Butters or Bond. I'm going Bond.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bont as well. I mean, to do that in your first game back off 6 weeks layoff, he's just a star. He is a star.
It's ridiculous how good he makes them. Ryan says Humphrey, Trainer, and O'Sullivan to Nick Martin, Flynn, and Carroll. Yes.
Yep. I like all of
that. He's now convinced on bringing in Newcombe / Libart, trading out Sam Darcy. Oh, that's stiff. / Perryman. Just get rid of Darcy. Thank God that it's not an ACL. Would you feel Trainer over Zach Reid? If so, surely you hold Trainer until he's buy and trade Reid instead. You don't trade either. right now. Don't trade either, and flip a coin over who you're fielding. I think it's much of a muchness. Oh, shout out to Damo. He's a superstar. We love you, mate. Probably one of the only Carlton supporters I can tolerate. Hump fraud. He's not wrong there. Absolutely agree. Is Caden Cleary a dud? Oh, jeez, he's got to bounce back, doesn't he? Surely.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, does he, Joshy, or not?
I hope so. Like, I mean, he showed he can score. Like 66 and 81 the 2 games before that. That's why we got him in. Had no tackles on the weekend, which was really disappointing because a lot of his score was built up on 6 and 7 tackles in the weeks prior. But I mean, he's still got a minus 11 break even. He's made 45K. If he holds his spot, I think there's still room to grow in this pick. So hopefully not yet.
And shout out to you, Barnaby. As I always say, mate, your display picture is second to none. Stunning. 0 XP, bringing in George Hewitt at 570K has been the only thing I've done right this season. My goat. I mean, props
Such
to
a pick.
Good
stuff.
Collingwood could have played a mid down last Thursday and Nick still would have went nuts. Yeah, he would have. I mean, Brisbane just had an off night. Rolo Bloke Oath Rollins. That's a quality name. G'day, gents. Appreciate you giving your time on a school night. By planning structure versus getting in Daicos, Bont and Butters. Thoughts? I think the way that you have literally just put them in order, that's the order that I'd go. Is that right for you, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd go that way as well. I mean, last week we were speaking about Daicos. Like, he's in his 4th year and he's already had 2 season averages of 116, 117. Like, I knew that the slow start wasn't going to be sustained. He was always going to bounce back, and the last 2 weeks have just shown it.
Oh, immaculate. Placey, good to see you, mate. He's had a shocker scoring 2,083 this week. He needs some big trade-ins to move me up the ranks. John Newcombe, simple. Ryan wants to know, would it be worth spending the extra 100K and get Nick Martin or settle with Tom Stewart? Oh, probably. I hate to say it, but I reckon I'd go Stewart.
If you've got the money, I'd get Nick Martin. He was back at the halfback role against West Coast. Scored 145. I think that's coming off 120 the week before. And at 530K as a forward, I just think he's going to be awesome from now on.
Yep. I don't really like cheese. I'm thinking and stay with me here. Bias Trainer and Humpty Dumpty to Flynn, Carroll, and Nicky D.
See, I would rather keep a bias and trade a Zach Reid and settle on a Matt Rowell or a Newcombe over a Nicky D. Because I think Bias is one of those rookies that we've seen rookie roulette this year. I think Bias is one of them. You can consistently field him each week and be comfortable.
I tend to agree, but do you really want to go into Anzac Day not seeing Daicos as VC? Or C?
Well, put it this way. Would you rather on field Riley Bias and Matt Rowell or Newcombe or Zach Reid and Nick Daicos?
Does Daicos go 200?
I don't think he goes that high.
I mean, I don't know. I think you're right. I'm just taking the PI 55 there. So that's a no. Placey says, traded in Merritt over Daicos, hurts his score so badly. Merritt will slaughter us, mate. You can literally lock a 120 in for that. If you don't have Daicos, I would highly suggest that Merritt is your VC or C if you're running a Gorn on the Thursday night. Geez, that's going to be a riveting game. Melbourne versus Richmond. Wow.
Yeah, I think it actually will be better than you think because going into this round, I did not think one of the best games would be Richmond and Gold Coast. And it was. It was actually a really good game. Melbourne and Richmond both coming off wins. Obviously, on the ladder, it's not ideal. But Anzac Eve the last few years has been a really exciting game. And I think despite their ladder position, it actually might be a decent game to watch.
Just give me a Lindsay 90, a Gorn 130, and I'll be happy. And a Clary 140. That's it. That's all I want from that game. And a Trainer 90. Jeez,
and a Petracca 180.
You know it's going to be a sub-ton. Michael, g'day, lads. I think I'm going. I'm thinking of going Parker Reed and trainer to Carroll, Flynn, and Daicos using last boost. No, nah, nah.
Yeah, I would actually use my last boost on that.
On
Um,
that, really.
Yeah, because I think Carroll and Flynn, as I said all along this podcast, are two of really good downgrade options to make money when they're really drying up. And getting into Daicos, I think Daicos is one of those players that's worth a boost. Like, you use your boost to get in the best players, and Daicos is that. So I would be using it if it means Daicos.
Yeah, I understand that. I just don't think like I'm so against using that last boost. I just really am. I
Yeah.
genuinely don't know the answer to this because I've only looked at Carroll. Who's the other best rookie option to bring in?
I'm going to quickly go on to players now, filter by break even. Corey Dillon, I think he's too much at 208K. I know he's had two really good games in a row, but I mean, he's played North and West Coast in those games.
Mhm.
Um, and then obviously, Matt Flynn is the best break even. You get him in. Sandy Brock not in the team. Erasmus not in the team. Now, this is the one. Will White at 144K. I think you could probably go there with a minus 47 break even, especially as a forward if you need a forward downgrade option. But the one that actually caught my eye earlier, and the reason is his price is because he had a couple of low scores, but Charlie Spargo, he started the season with 33, minus 2, 46, and then on the weekend a 70. He now has a break even of minus 28 with West Coast and Richmond in his next two. So even him at 149K could be someone you go at. But I really
So,
don't like the options.
so you're going to bring in Petracca, Spargo, and like I don't know who else still plays at Melbourne. Jaden Hunt's gone to West Coast, hasn't he? Jesus. You might as well just bring in like Stephen May. There you
I'm
go.
not
There's your
bringing
trading.
him in. I
No,
got
do it.
asked who's the best rookie options other than Carroll, and
I
there is no
know.
one.
My God, geez, we get moody late at night, don't we? Um,
Honestly, though, actually, no, I did not
no,
know
we're
who.
moving on, mate. We've been on for an hour and 15, and we still got like 60 comments to get through. If you had to rank Tom Stewart, Petracca, and Nick Martin to get in this week, 1 to 3, right? Martin, Petracca, Stewart, just put them in reverse order. Your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I'd go same through.
Perfect. Marty, please. Hello, gentlemen. Thanks for the content. Somehow still went up ranked to 700 with Briggs. Oh, Reed and clearing on field. I'm probably bringing in the Nuke this week as well, but open to Rosie. Get Newcombe. Simple.
Yeah, I'd get Newcombe as well.
Wonderful. Should I hold Cripps or who should I upgrade from it? Nah, you've got to hold Cripps.
Yeah, he's been really, really bad, but as I've been saying all podcasts, you got to upgrade around these guys, unfortunately.
Agreed. Jimmy D'Alberto, thoughts on Hall, Trainer, and Davidson for Flynn, Track, and Carroll, but means I still don't have Daicos. I wouldn't do that.
Well, it just depends. How does he get Daicos though? Like we're talking about someone that's 600K now compared to Petrarca at 480.
Mhm.
So does he then have to trade out a Matt Roberts instead of a trainer to actually be able to fund that? I mean, if he's got cash laying around, then sure. But I mean, I think those three trade-ins, they're my three trade-ins, and I think they're completely fine. You
It's
don't want
just
to be like forcing stuff.
Hall, I can completely understand. Trainer, I think you hold it. And Davidson's fine for another week.
Yeah. So what I'm saying though is like, I don't think there's any trades that he's going to be able to do to get Daicos in, unless he did Daicos, Carroll, and he bypassed Flynn and got someone like a Will White.
Then I think you bypass Flynn.
You would rather bypass Flynn at 261K just to get Daicos over track.
100%. But that's me.
I
100%.
nah. See,
You
I
know I
think
love that, man.
yeah, I think your Collingwood bias is coming out
Like
here.
there is nothing more. Like I started him. I go into every week watching Collingwood, and I know obviously we're not going to win every game from here to the rest of the season. Let's be logical, but my God, do you know how good it is watching Collingwood, knowing that when you open the app, you see N Daicos in your side. Like that
I mean,
feeling of
yeah,
being content is like it you are at peace, at peace.
Well, as a neutral, he is one of the worst, if not the worst, players to barrack against, not having,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
one of the best players to watch. But I just, at this stage of the season, a long-term Supercoach prospect for your team, at this stage of the season with the cash gen options really drying up, I think you need someone like Flynn who's going to score well and make you cash. And if that means getting a Petracca over Daicos to fund that, then I think that's completely fine. You don't want to force these moves, and you don't want to miss out on someone that's going to make genuine cash like Flynn to do it.
Every day for the past week, I've heard track this, track that, track this, track that. No, nah.
Well,
not
this is
Daicos.
his question, bro. He's got truck in there. It's not like I plucked him from anywhere. He's literally in the
No,
question.
I'm sick of associating Christian Petracca with you. My God.
How do you think I felt when I had to listen to you for a whole week talk about Siders averaging 115, only for him to
Yeah,
get
because
dropped
your
in the
coach is an
Mercury?
absolute clown and won't play the best inside mid kid at your club. Like, hello, you put one and one together, you get two. It's obvious. It really. We're moving on. We're moving on. Cheese. Flynn would also be my sixth eagle. Am I just? Oh my God! How does that work? How? I
Oh,
don't think
man, he's
there's
probably got a Marich, Flynn, Clay
marriage Flynn.
Hall, Tom
Yep.
Gross, Elijah
Yep.
Hewitt. That's
Yep.
five. I don't know who the six would be.
Flynn.
No, I just said that. Flynn, Clay Hall, Elijah Hewitt,
Who else is there?
Ryan Marich, Tom Gross. I don't know who the sixth one is.
Surely.
Archer Reid. He just said in the chat, Archer Reid. And
Archer
that is a
Reid. All right.
great. I said the other
Best
night on our
athlete.
bet. Yeah, I said the other night on Rookie Coaches after dark stream. I wish I could go back in time and start Archer Reid over Boyd, because he has
Yep.
been a really, really big miss. Like, he's actually been a great cash gen.
Who do you trade first, Pryor or Reid, or do you just not trade?
I would trade. Honestly, I'd trade Pryor first. I think Reid is going to consistently score better, but that's really tough though.
Nah, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't trade either. Kevin, oh my God, I didn't try and pronounce your last name last stream, so I'm not going to try now, mate. But Kev said, is it okay trading Sam Pepper to bring in Daicos and Flynn? No.
No, I definitely wouldn't either. Power Pepper's really getting going now, and with North Melbourne this week and a -14 break even, you got to hold that.
Do you still own him?
Nah, I traded him a couple of weeks ago, and don't ask me who to.
Who to?
Bailey Humphrey.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's the worst trade I made all year, like by far.
That's wonderful. I don't like cheese. A sneaky one too. Dylan Morwell, he was trash today. He had a bunch of CBAs when Nash was sub. Nash, whatever you want to go with, was sub last week. Now that he's getting suspended, is more. No, you've got to see it. You can't just preempt this stuff. No.
He didn't
Just
pass
like-
the eye test, so no good.
Joey Coolman, he's got Jerry, TDK, Gordon Flex. How much of a must is Flynn? My only way would be go to TDK out audio. I'd probably do that, honestly.
Yeah. Even then, no. Like, I think you just
No?
got to cop no Flynn. Like, to have the three-headed monster in Cherry TDK gone is just awesome. If Pitternet did come in, then I think that's where you can warrant that. But as I said, TDK hasn't gone under 100 all year. Like, I just don't know if you can trade that. Such a tough one.
So are you signing off on that or not?
I wouldn't. If you've got the three-headed monster, I wouldn't be doing it. But that's just me.
Yeah, fair enough. Benji DeVille says, train it to Carroll and Costa Petracca. Oh, I guess you do that, yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Yep. Ladies, man, Causa. I'm going Oliver to Daicos, Flynn in for Zach Reid, and trainer to Carroll. Oh, I don't know if I like that, Causa.
Yeah, as I said, as I've been speaking about with these Melbourne players, they got Richmond and West Coast the next two. Hold the Clayton Oliver for that. I said it last week as well. I actually don't know why people are trading Oliver. Like, yeah, he hasn't been the old Clayton Oliver that we've had, the 120 average, but he's had a low score of 80 this year. Like, that is a great floor. That's more than Zorko, Sinclair, Neale, like all these players that we've been picking at a really elevated price can say. Even Gorn's gone to 60 something. Um, like Sherry's had sub 100 scores this year. Like I know he's not going that well in terms of those really big scores, but he showed he still does have that ceiling score with that 130 against North Melbourne. And I just think against Tigers and West Coast, you have to hold him.
So that's a no.
No, yeah, absolutely. I just need to make sure people can't be trading Oliver. I don't know. I don't want
Okay.
to see it.
Cripps, hold or trade? It's a hold.
Yeah, hold.
All right, Sammy, what's good, lads? Go A. Trainer, Clay Hall, Max Hall to Daicos, Flynn, Matt Carroll. Geez, that's a good trade. Or
Yeah,
B,
like
Cos, Clay Hall, Max Hall to Daicos, Flynn, and yeah, no, go B. B, 100%.
these ones go over my head so much. It's takes so
We're
much
going B.
concentration. Yeah.
Going B. Primordial Quasar, whatever that is. Draper and Carroll to Flynn plus Luke Cleary. What?
I think Luke Cleary, we've missed the boat on that one a little bit.
Same. Just get Carroll.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Luke,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
Luke Cleary's 195k. So unless you already have Carroll, I wouldn't be going anywhere near that.
oh no, he's got it the wrong way around. I think he means Draper and Luke Cleary to Flynn and Carroll.
Yes, that's how I
Yes.
think it
Yeah.
would definitely be. By the way, just quickly, Draper went 105. If you're someone like this guy that already had him, that's so stiff because he looked so good.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a really stiff one.
No, I agree. Placey's been loving the SPP train. Happy he's Hal just rub it into Joshy a little bit more. Good on you, Placey. We love that around here. Might be forward rook of the season so far. Yeah, potentially. Thoughts on trading in Nick Martin? I think we've gone over that. I prefer Nick Martin over Petracca. Do you, Josh?
I do as well. If I had the
Yep.
cash, I would.
Yep. Dodgy Malacca with how Daicos beats tags, aka running like a madman. Is there any chance he just breaks down later in the season? Yes, he's in good fitness, but running like that every week is not sustainable. I guarantee you, it is sustainable. Come back to me at the
He's
end of
done
the
it the
season.
last 3 years. It's
Yeah,
sustainable. He's shown. This guy was getting tagged in his first year.
like
Like,
it 100% is sustainable. 100%.
yeah,
Causa says get Sinclair in a few weeks if you don't have. Absolutely, got a huge break even.
yeah.
Yaron Gartner, thank you so much for the donation last stream as well. Hey, legends, looking at Briggs/Davidson and M Hall out for Flynn, Daicos, and Durden or Carroll. No, just get Carroll. Don't get Durden. I'd tick off on that. Worth using second last boost this week if it gets you an upgrade. Yes.
Yeah, as long
Yep.
like if you have one left after doing it, I think that's fine.
Yep. Spence says, love your work, boys. Thoughts on bringing in Nick Martin? DPP status is handy. Absolutely. He's my favorite over track. Only have the option to drop one, Cos Trainer or Nevitt. It's out of Nevitt and Cos for me.
Yeah, I'd probably be dropping Nevitt first though. I think he's seriously going to get dropped.
Yeah, wonderful. Harry Waters says, hey boys, thoughts on Trainer, Cos Hasty to Long, Carroll, Flynn. Ooh, that's tempting. Can you just do Hasty and Cos to Flynn and Carroll though?
If he can, I'd be doing that.
Yeah, same. Uncle Akka says, already got 3 rucks and I ain't dropping TDK, so it's a hard miss. Yeah, fair enough. Jonas Goat says, in, Nicky Boy Daicos, out of the bin, Flynn, Carroll, out, Dumpster Dusty, training, who's training wheels?
Trainer.
Yeah, right, and Davidson. Yeah, I do that, 100%. I traded him Meek for Flynn 2 weeks ago. Is if he gets suspended, should I swap back to Flynn? What happened to Meek?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
obviously Reeves hasn't come in to ruin that role or anything, but I mean, Meek again, like we just spoke about the run for Newcombe. Meek has that exact same run. So you almost actually Meek has been good. The last 3 weeks he's gone 118, 105, 113, and he's got West Coast, Richmond, Melbourne next three. I mean, gone is hard, but you'd probably hold him, wouldn't you? I don't know what the
Yeah.
suspension is.
No, I've got no idea. Um, Jonas says the Bailey Smith football to the head was high contact and time wasting. I mean, he'll get a fine. Surely he's not going to get suspended. Surely.
Yeah, surely not.
Jimmy P says O'Driz, as if you've still got him. O'Driscoll
Yeah,
retraining
what?
for Daicos, Flynn, and Carroll. Yes, lock.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe people still have O'Driscoll. Cash in that 309K.
Yep. Bailey Horvath says thoughts on Matt Kennedy's a pod instead of track. I was looking at Matt
Yeah,
Kennedy earlier, and
yeah,
there is no shame in that. It's like that 125. It wasn't bad at all.
yeah.
450K, break even of 81. So he's going to be the same price as track soon, if not more. I mean, they're not bad scores. It's,
I think it's just the consistency. Like he's gone
yeah,
3-1-10 pluses, but then he's also had a 62 and a 79.
yep.
Um, whereas, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't mind it though, honestly. I really don't. Um, but we'll move on. CJG. Aren't you meant to be JG? Could I go Cos, Foz, and Moraes to Flynn, Carroll, Martin, not Stewart? Yes, you can.
yep, absolutely.
Uh, Causa says there was a guy on Twitter around 1,300 before the round and had Bont Butters in his team. Got Butters last week and Bont this. Oh, he
I
will
actually
be.
saw that. When I saw someone's midfield screenshot with Bont and Butters, I was stunned. I
Yeah,
mean, they both went well, but like I think spending 680K and 645K already on players isn't the right move to do. As good as
he's
they are.
he's ranking better than me, so I'm not going to say anything. I
Bro,
think Bice should be last upgrade, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely
I agree.
he's fantastic.
I think Bice is honestly someone, and I know Supercoach Pro is big on this. I think Bice is someone that could end up being your D7 and
Mm.
just be like you could loop him, or he could be someone that like say someone's laid out or someone's suspended for a week, someone's concussed for a week, and he would be more than fine to come off the bench for a week or two.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Dodgy Malacca, is Newcombe a guy we're seriously going to have at the end of the year? I thought he was going to get tag attention, so I was looking for a Hawthorn second mid. I don't think he will.
Well, he probably is the number one tag option in that midfield now that Day's gone.
But they've got no like tags coming up. Their run is insane.
Well, that's the thing as well, though.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if they are to tag anyone, it would be him. But
Mhm.
you quickly look at it now: West Coast no, Richmond no, Melbourne no, Gold Coast no, Brisbane no, Collingwood no, Bulldogs no, Adelaide no, North no. You're probably looking at round 17 when you see the first tag for Newcombe.
Yeah. No,
So yeah,
honestly, yes, yes. If you're going off averages right now, you've got more chance of seeing Newcombe in like top 8 mids than you do Locky Neale, and that's just straight factual data.
yeah.
Maccabi Patterson says I can trade Trainer and Hall to Petracca and Carroll and want to go Flynn, but the only way I can is if I trade Zach Reed. Jeez, that's a good question. What are you going to do there, Joshy?
Oh, I would do it. Like Zach Reed, he's got a low break even, but I think he's only got a little bit more cash to make, maybe like 30K at most. Whereas Flynn, we spoke about before, a 70 gets him 60K this week, and the way he's been scoring, I think he's going to make some quick cash. And given he's on the bubble, he is at 141 in two price cycles. So I think it's something that's worth considering.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Thoughts on Elijah Hewitt? I think he's too expensive if you've got him, and you held fantastic for you, but if not, stiff. Your thoughts, Joshy?
Yeah, I don't think you could get him in at that elevated price, but if you have him, wow, that's a good rookie to have for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I get that. XQA HD, very conflicted. Is Daicos still an in if it means benching Sir Nettie Long and exposing Elijah Hewitt at F6? My forward and back lines are both dead, inflexible.
No,
Oh,
don't bench Long. Do not
nah,
bench Long.
that's no. Don't trade Zach Reid. He was going after his brother in the game against West Coast to watch him intercept all of Daicos inside 50 attempts. Mate.
Yeah,
Nick Daicos is hands down the best kick in the entire game. Like, that lace out, forward stream. Maybe I'll bench Dunkley and take the Mickey, considering he's my worst mid. You can't be doing that. Dunkley's 550k. No, no. Paddy Connolly says, worth boosting to go Oliver to Daicos. I'm not watching Anzac Day game without Daicos. Joshy, would you do this or not?
no, don't trade Oliver. Just don't trade
No.
Oliver.
No, I don't believe so. No, you're against it. Lukey Papa says, if trainer is named sub again, he won't be named sub. I can guarantee you that. It was management
Yeah, he won't
unless
be.
Uze is a liar. Like, he won't be. I'm not going to read the rest of the question because I'm so confident that, oh, mate, actually, I just did. But no, trainer will not be sub. His trades are currently Humphrey and Costa, Flynn and Carroll, and then he boosts trainer to any mid for 550k. No, just do the two. Simple as that. Simple as that. Hey, boys, thinking trainer, Humphrey, and Nevitt out for track, Flynn and Carroll. Thoughts? I would do that. Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. He's then said, or miss Flynn and go Hewitt instead of get Daicos instead of track. Nah. Like, I think you get track and Flynn instead of Hewitt and Daicos. I think so.
Yeah.
Crick says, hi, thanks, guys. 3 boosts left. Nevitt, Max Hall, and boost Zorko to Flynn, Carroll, and Zeret. Already got Nakes and Defs would be Whitfield, Sheasel, Clark, Roberts, Bice. No.
Yeah,
Would you
no.
do this? Nah.
No, I wouldn't.
Nah. Placey's only way to get Flynn would be trading Reed/Pryor. Worth doing. I'd trade Pryor to him.
I'd trade either to him. I guess the thing is, though, like, Pryor has that 92 in his price cycle, whereas Reed has that 38. So I feel like Pryor's more someone that you could hold over him.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd trade Pryor, I think. What's the priority, Daicos or Flynn? Daicos.
Flynn for me.
Daicos. Can't believe I'm bringing Flynn back in. Oh, yeah, neither, mate. Neither.
Neither.
Yeah. Chrissy Mano says he's got Jerry Gorn and TDK at flex. Does he make room for Flynn or does he give him a miss in his case? I'd do TDK down. I would. Just because, like, I'd take the gamble. There's no reason to do it, but I would take the gamble. Because I think at some stage Pitto does come back in, and it might not be for a couple of weeks, but you have Jerry and Gorn. So, yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, just as I said, with him, with how good TDK's been, he hasn't gone under 100 yet this season.
Lukey P says Melbourne would tag Newcombe. Seems like it's going to be Viney's new role this year. I mean, Viney tried to tag Sarong, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a good job as well, to be honest.
What did Sarong score?
Like 102.
Okay,
Which
so
against
Newcombe's
Melbourne, you're expecting a lot more than that. Oh, God.
Yes, simple. CJG just said, it was Nash. Yep. Jonas Goat is literally typing about all the late changes from Geelong. Yeah, they're criminals for it.
Ridiculous.
Davidson to Martin or Moraes to Stewart. Davidson to Martin for me.
Yeah, I'd do the same thing.
Jimmy P was 1.1k short of upgrading Foss to Daicos. Jesus Christ, you must have had a bank.
Yeah, Jesus.
Balupa says, how worried are you about Hall, Gross, and Cleary? Cleary, yes. Hall, no. If you're talking about Max, if you're talking about Clay, very. And Gross plays. Surely.
Yeah, I don't know. And if he does play, does he be sub again? That's the issue.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm starting to get really concerned about these rookies. Like, I'm happy with my on-field ones. I'm pretty comfortable with that. But when I look at my bench and I look down back, Humphrey and Carroll, both shaky job security. Mariah's never Camporelli. One's already dead. The other two could be dead. And up forward, Cleary and Kako. It's getting
Yeah.
pretty dire. It's starting to look really bad, and that's why I'm saying Flynn is such a priority because you need that cash gen. It's really drying up.
No, yeah, completely agree. Arrow says, would you do Saligo, Trainer, Henderson to Daicos, Flynn, and Carroll? Yes.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I think I prefer the first option that you said. I'd use the boost.
Yeah, I'd use the boost as well.
Big Bubba 1983 says Flynn, Daicos, Carroll in, out Zach Reed, Coles Hump. No, I'd just do that. I would do that. 100%.
I love those three in so much.
Trade Reed or Trainer, Josh, for Flynn.
I'd try Trainer just because of the break even.
Yep. Uncle Aka says it will be funny when Flynn scores 60 next round. No, it won't. Absolutely.
I think he should be fine. Like as I said, he got obliterated by Wits in round one. Like absolutely obliterated. I think the hit out count was 53 to 13 or something, and he still managed 87. Which is more than both Sherry and Gorn can say against Wits this year. So I think he's going to be fine. Against Meek this week, having a really quick look at the Ruckman strength of schedule, Hawthorn is a lime green, so a reasonably favourable matchup. I think Flynn will be fine.
I agree. Shout out to Jono, absolute superstar. Hey lads, would you do Trainer and Kako to Flynn and Carroll? Also, would you consider a boost to Newcombe at the expense of Matt? No.
Yeah, Marrick's fine. My concern with Marrick, obviously, I'm not an owner, but my concern for owners was McGovern back. Even with McGovern, he still had 20 touches and scored 91. So I'd be keeping Marrick as long as possible.
Agreed. Jules just says, am I crazy for skipping Flynn? I want to go from Trainer Moraes Reed into Carroll Cochrane and the big nuke.
I wouldn't be getting Cochrane. He's coming off a 37.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the 118K price tag's nice, but no.
Martin will track this week. I'm a Martin.
Yeah, if you have the money, Martin.
Yeah. X-Quark. Can you explain how I pronounce your name? R.A. Daicos, question before. I suppose it's a better call to bring in Martin for the DPP, but I'd have to drop Trainer. Do I do it or just leave the back line alone and go track Martin in F5? Yeah, just get Martin in F5.
Yeah.
I think you do that. Hoggett says, are we worried about Martin's only two good scores coming against Melbourne and West Coast? I feel like any scores against these two are bait. Joshy, your thoughts?
A little bit, but at the same time, I think it was more so the role. Against West Coast, he had that half-back roll back, especially now that Dylan Shields playing midfield. So I think you got to consider the role, not so much the opposition.
I completely agree. And also, I just realized we didn't answer this question. Jono says, the first part, I'd do Trainer and Kako to Flynn and Carroll. Yes, sorry about that, mate. I would do that 100%. Where were we up to? Sarong still scored decent, but his fantasy to SuperCoach ratio was wild. Well, there you go. Joshy, this is aimed at you. Dersma injured on the weekend. I thought he was just winded, but fair enough.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
Who knows if he's cracked some ribs or something? We'll find that out tomorrow night. Now that we're already through Monday, but yeah, I think he's fine. But it would be massive for Al Hawley if he isn't all right.
Yep, agreed. Jono says Huey Boxall is going to be a Saints rookie to target in a few weeks. Had some strong performance in the VFL. Mate, Ross Lyon's the coach. No one's got any idea what big old Roscoe is going to do.
Is he ever going to get in? Like, Boxall was someone that was one of their better rookies in the preseason games. Looked really good, and then didn't get to go around one. So, I mean, if he comes in, he's going to be sub anyway. That's what Ross Lyon will do.
Yeah. Going to be another week of picking Reed or Pryor roulette. I'm 0-2 so far. I'm picking the top score on field last
Oh,
week.
don't get me started. So last week I had Pryor on for his 54 and
Yep.
Reed's 104 on the bench. This week I had Pryor's 92 on the bench and Reed's 38 on field. This week
Who do
I'm
you
filling
play?
both
Who
of
do
them.
you play on field? Pryor or Reed? Only one.
I literally don't know. I think Pryor's floor is better. Like his low score's 50.
Mm.
But yeah, honestly, flip a coin. This is one that you literally ask Siri, "Hey Siri, heads or tails?" And you gotta just give Siri one of the options. Look, Siri's come up right now saying it. I do it all the time. Heads or tails, that's all you do. Honestly, it's too hard.
Oh my
Here we go.
god.
We'll do it right now. Read is heads, okay? Hey Siri, heads or tails? It's heads. Go read. There you go.
You are such a simpleton, my god. Oh, Jesus, that's done me. Oh, Xqua HD, thanks for the advice, lads. We'll be VCing certain Ned as I did last week for Vibes. Time to fix my sleep schedule. Screw you, Formula One. Mate, Formula One does not interest me at all. I do not understand it. If I wanted to see cars go around and around and around, I'd go to a roundabout, but I'm happy for you. Crick says, should I be worried about Zorko or is this first world problems? No, you don't trade him to Rosie. No, you don't trade him to Martin or Tracker or Kennedy. No. Jono, yes, do the initial trades. Balupa, if I don't trade in Daicos, Newcombe instead, I don't have to trade in Tunstall or trade out Trainer. Instead, do Nevitt and Sardis, but I would need Holmes in my mid and field both Reed and Trainer. Wow. Okay. I don't know if I want to field both Reed and Trainer. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that either.
Yeah. I'm sure you've got one of us on X. Send your team in and damn it. Just, yep. Okay. Placey says VC and C this week. Gorney to Merritt likely for me. Yeah, I'll be going Gorney to Daicos. Joshy, I assume you're the same.
Yeah, going into Daicos is the biggest lock for me.
Okay. Aqua's got an explanation of his team. It's just his name is just Aqua HD. Glad we clicked that up. The little voice in my head is telling me to trade both Sarong and Neale. No, you don't do that. Imagine if Track scores more than Daicos. Jesus, could you imagine how good the next podcast is going to be if that happens? Wow. Leak and Kako to Carroll and Flynn. You signing off on it, Joshy?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Ralphie says, Trainer and Clay Hall to Carroll and Finn. Boost Moraes to E. Hewitt to look after Cash Gent. No, just do the initial ones. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, more than fair.
Lukey wants to know, last one before he logs off, Gross to be sub again. No idea, mate. West Coast treat their rookies horribly, so I've got no idea. Yeah, no. Balupa says, how come you're not very interested in Rosie with a new role? Because he's not going to be top 8 mid, and if he gets DPP, he's not going to be top 8 defender. Like, that's, yeah, no. John O'Carroll says, Pryor will probably be playing on Bobby Hill. Mate, no one's going to touch Bobby Dazzler. Simple as that. You can lock him in for an absolute bag if Pryor's playing on him. Any chance Mr. D8 special leak gets a game? Oh, no idea. No clue.
It was good in the VFL. He had 27 touches, 11 marks. One to actually look out for in the VFL. So Briggs turned over anything he touched on the weekend against Adelaide. He was deplorable, and that 27 points, that showed it. And Madden on the weekend, their rookie ruckman, had a goal, 26 touches, and 33 hitouts against Will Verrill. So not the best opposition, but one to watch is definitely Madden in the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
Yep, wonderful. Hoggett wants to know, what's gone as a VC to not take Daicos C, Josh?
Oh, I'd take anything 120 plus, honestly.
You take 120. The amount of people that I've seen whinge about, I thought player A was going to go higher. No. 120. They score 120, you take it. It doesn't matter if you've got Butters against, the Sandringham Oz kickers, you take 120. I do not care what you say. Don't whinge about it when it hits you in the face. Simple as that. Would you go Humphrey Trainer to Carroll and Martin, or Humphrey Trainer and Foster Carroll Trav? Surely that's meant to be track.
Yeah, surely track. No one's going Travalia, are they?
No.
I mean, looking at my keyboard, C's next to V, so I'd take an educated guess and say that's track.
Says the man who asked Siri about heads and tails for lifelong advice. Okay.
50-50 balls, it's the best thing ever.
Yep, wonderful. Yep, perfect. Don't waste your VC on track. Don't waste it. Gone. No. Right. Hal says, hey, gents, been a fan of Joshy's advice this year. Got me into the top 100. What's the logic on Martin over track plus 50K? Oh.
Sorry, can you just read that first part again? I missed it.
Hey, gents. Have not been a fan of Joshy's advice this year. Don't like his facial hair. Hasn't got me into the top 100. I agree with Scobes, Martin over track. Even though track has CBAs, he's going to be at Collingwood next year preparing for a big midfield shift in 2026. Perfect. No, he wants to know why you want track over Martin.
I don't. If I had the money, I'd be going Martin, but as I said, I can only afford someone that's 503K or less, so I've had to settle for track. But if you've got the money, I'd definitely be going Martin. But I don't think track's a horrible option if you can't afford it.
Yep. No, I get that. Would you hold Clay Hall? Are you holding Josh?
Yeah. I mean, you can't really cash him in, really. And his break-even was still really good, so I'd hold him.
Yep. Didn't Gross get a shoulder injury or something? I thought it was something to do with management or something like that. No, that's why he was
no idea. I have no idea.
Nenny Boy 55 says, should he trade in Flynn for TDK plus either get in Carroll? No. Unless he's in your flex. No. Clay Hall or Camporeale, a chance to return anytime soon. West Coast, who knows, mate?
Yeah, so Clay Hall had 26 touches, but Camporeale was actually pretty good in the VFL. He had 23 disposals, and so he had 23 disposals and 9 marks, 3 tackles. So he had a really good game. It's just, do Carlton fix up that team that just won back-to-back games? I don't think they do, unfortunately.
No. Gorn always goes massive versus the Nank Commander. Yeah, that's my VC. Do the Dons ever have a plan for Daicos, or is he a lock for 150? We've been over that.
Can you test your memory? I don't know what happened, and looking at the stats, he played a full game. Last time you played us in round 17, Daicos scored 92. So that was a very rare sub-100 score for him last season. I don't know if he got tagged, and I don't know if we roll with that again, but
didn't you beat us?
I think you guys smashed us in round 17.
Then he was probably rested for 4. No, last year.
Yeah, last year he scored 92
I'm fairly sure
against
smashed us. No, I'm fairly sure he smashed us, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we got smashed, didn't we? Unless I'm going crazy.
Yes, he's a lock for 150. Mate, it's 5-11. I'm not going over what happened a year ago. It's Nick Daicos. He's going 180.
I want to know why he went sub-100, because if we
work it out in your own time. I don't pay you to do research on the go. Did Tom Campbell not play in our twos? If Madden went up against him too, that's a good beat. No clue.
Tom Campbell didn't play. It was Will Verrill.
No clue. Rookie, the boys still going. Yes, we are, because we're talking about what Nick Daicos did a year ago against some team that we don't know who won. Do you think Durden or White is the better pick this week? White.
Yeah, White.
White. Dodgy Malacca says, I thought Gorn VC is a no, but he had scored 160 in his last 2 games against Richmond. Like, it's Gorn VC. It is not an option. If you own Gorn, Daicos, and Merritt, you go Gorn into literally one of Daicos or Merritt, and you are laughing for the entire weekend. We don't need to talk about VCs and Cs. Like, don't just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Captaining my GOAT Hewitt this week, was on board with him since the end of round 1. You cannot go onto that. You can't go against that. Thoughts on Gorn into TDK if you aren't a Daicos owner? No idea who Carlton played. Don't keep up with them. Could not.
They played Geelong, so he could actually go pretty big against Ray Stanley.
Yeah, to be fair, but I think you're taking the Gorn BC because it's going to be over 120, and that's the golden rule. Golden rule. Wanted BOE as well, but chose SDK. At least I had Hewitt. I What? Oh, as to start with. Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. He reckons Carroll reckons that far out, it's too late. Jono reckons that Durham went with him, as in against Daicos last year, round 17. We're moving on. Jacob Knight, is Butters going to drop in price next few weeks, or is it a get in now situation? If you can afford Butters, get him in now. Simple as that. Simple as that. Tyrone Power, hey lads, Short, Clay Hall and Davidson to Carroll, Flynn and Nick Daicos will be my last boost. Joshy, is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Dalek, put the C on Daicos for merit if I have both this week. Daicos. We are ending it here. Live stream going to be unreal next week with a Gorn 101 into a Daicos 94. I won't turn up. Simple as that. I will not turn up.
I won't either. You will not be seeing me.
Yep, no. We are done. We are finished. That's it. Josh, thank you so much for joining me, mate. We are going to bed now. What is your last VC and C so everyone knows?
It'll be going into Daicos.
Going into Daicos. And just because this is his first question of the stream, is Gorn getting 0 tackles an issue? It is a straight no. Don't worry about it. No.
No, he's been so good the last few weeks.
Absolutely. One last one. Brody says Peeling, Davidson, and Kako to Nick, Carroll, and Flynn. Yes, done. That's it. We're not reading out anymore. If you've got any more questions, add us on Twitter. Joshy, where can the listeners find you?
JJ232_.
Perfect. Everyone knows where to find me. It is 2 minutes till 11 o'clock on Easter Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. We peaked at 199 viewers tonight. Joshy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, mate. We finally got there. To the 123 people that are still an hour and 56 and 23 seconds in, we say thank you. And if anybody, actually not anyone, because Josh is ditching me on Team Drop Thursdays because he's going to the game and staying down in Melbourne. That's not an excuse as far as I'm concerned, but fair enough. Enjoy Anzac Day, mate. I hope your team loses. I hope Merritt goes 140 and I hope Daicos goes 290. We're done. We're finished. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night. See you on Thursday. Goodbye, everyone.